The Jubilate Deo Award is the highest award given by the National Association of Pastoral Musicians, awarded by NPM's Board of Directors only to true giants, to those women and men who make the most significant contributions to the liturgical life of the Church in the United States. Jesuit Father John Baldovin is a professor of liturgical and historical theology at Boston College. A priest of the New York province of the Society of Jesus, Father Baldovin has taught at numerous institutions of higher learning for over 50 years. He has authored several books on the liturgy and sacraments, countless articles in nationally and globally respected journals. Father Baldovin has advised the U.S. Bishops' Committee on Divine Worship, led the North American Academy of Liturgy, and currently sits on the board of the famed journal Theological Studies. His 2008 book, Reforming the Liturgy, a response to the critics, shaped my own understanding of the long arc of liturgical renewal and reform, and has been an invaluable contribution to the scholarship on liturgical history since Vatican II. In addition to his many academic and literary contributions to the praying church, Father Baldovin also assists with weekend masses in Cambridge and Lexington, and Bostonians are blessed by his passion and care for the liturgy. On behalf of the Board of Directors and the entire National Association of Pastoral Musicians, it is my pleasure to present the 2021 Jubilate Deo Award to Father John Baldovin.
Great.
So this year, you are NPM's Jubilate Deo winner, which means rejoice in God, NPM's highest honor. What did you think when you were contacted about this?
Well, I'd like to think that it was a mistake, but no, I that you got the wrong person. No, I knew you wanted to write to me and ask me to receive it. I mean, of course, I was immensely flattered.
You've written on how the Mass unites us to the Lord and to one another. As we prepare to return to whatever this new normal is going to be, we'd love to hear your thoughts and get any advice you might have to offer about building new relationships and strengthening existing bonds.
Great, thanks, Berta. That's the $64 question, isn't it? I think now we have another opportunity. We have to seize these as opportunities, right? It's a big challenge, right? Especially now with another wave of the virus seeming to come at us. It's a big challenge, but it's an opportunity for us as ministers to reflect on what does it mean for people to actually come together. I think I said some things toward the beginning of the presentation about how people have gravitated, of course, people who want to worship in a Catholic way have gravitated towards the online celebrations, understandably. But I hope that's made us realize that it's not a substitute for our being gathered physically together. And I think one thing that we have not achieved in the 60 years of the post-Vatican II reform is to help people to understand that the liturgy is a communal exercise, truly communal.
You are not yourself an NPM member, but peripherally you have had experiences, of course, this year and otherwise, with us as an association. So, given your limited time but definite experience with us, what have you learned about the association?
What have I learned about the association? That's a good question. Well, I know that it's, I think I said this in a way a couple of times, I hoped at the beginning and at the end of my presentation. I know that you are the people who are the boots on the ground, if you will, in our work for helping people to celebrate, to worship together. And so I know the hard work that people put in, not only the musicians, but the people who work with the musicians. I think it's very important. I know you get a number of pastors who come, And I think that's extremely important because one of my convictions is that liturgical music programs don't really work unless there's cooperation between pastors and musicians. And as I said, I know a great number of you pastoral musicians, and I have the highest regard for what you do.
You've given us plenty to think about, just like you did in your plenum address this year. And I thank you so much for your insights, because as pastoral musicians, it gives us enough to think about and remind ourselves that the music that we use is such an integral part to teach, to inspire, and to engage actively and consciously those among us in what we hope, like you said, will be in-person gathering to the fullest expression very soon.
Right. Can I add something to that,
Totally.
Amanda? Because
Totally.
it's hard to shut me up once I get going.
And rightly so. Go ahead.
Yeah. One of my principles in preaching, of course, I'm a preacher as well as a teacher. One of my principles in preaching is to ask myself beforehand, what do I want people to walk away with? And I think pastoral musicians might want to do the same kind of thing. Given the choice of the music I've made for today, what effect do I want this to have, given the whole, the scriptures that we've read, the situation we're in, et cetera, et cetera? I think that would be a good practice.
I think that's a perfect way to end our time with you today. We're so grateful that you gave us this time, and as always, your inspiration and your thoughts as you joined us here for this members meeting tonight. But thank you again, and congratulations on being this year's Jubilate Deo Award winner.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Berta. Nice to be with you.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.